Let's talk about the recent federal election. It's been in the news and in the media and been pushed forward the last few weeks of the campaign about Liberal or Labor, and now we know that we've got an Albanese government under Labor. So what does it mean for the property market? Is it going to hurt prices? Is it going to see prices grow? Let's have a chat about the macroeconomics and the microeconomics. Before we dive into more of the politics, I just want to pull the picture back to the basics. So what drives property prices? One side is the supply and one side is the demand. So supply is available properties for sale, and that can include established and new builds. Now, governments can help increase the supply. There's talks of increasing the access for first home buyer grants, people being able to access super in different ways to get into the property market, and those will impact the supply. So new homes being built, grants being provided by the government is going to increase the supply side of the equation when it comes to property. The flip side is demand. So demand is actually driven by the money supply, which the government actually doesn't have a lot of control over. The money supply is far more controlled by the Reserve Bank of Australia and the big banks, and your serviceability when you go and lend with those banks. So the APRA changes in around 2017, 2018, and what you're able to take on in terms of debt levels can make a real difference in terms of the demand side of the equation. So if you have more access to cheap money and easy debt, then people can pay more for property and prices are likely to increase. But if there's a constriction in the money supply, so there's less money available out there across Australia, then people are going to not be able to pay as much for properties and prices may stagnate or they may even see declines. So we need to look at both the supply and demand when it comes to the property market. Now, my opinion at the end of the day is that these political parties aren't going to have a major impact on property prices, and we need to look at the microeconomic level rather than focusing on the bigger picture and worrying about what the government's doing. You can only really control your situation and what property you're specifically buying. You're not buying an entire city, you're not buying Brisbane, you're not even buying an entire suburb. You're buying a specific house in a specific street. So the microeconomics are far more important than the macroeconomics when it comes to building a property portfolio and being a successful investor. I think it's going to be great that the new government has some focus on first-time buyers, on affordable housing, and looks into those areas. But most people who are investing are looking at major regional or major city markets to invest their money. And these areas are typically established. So that kind of covers the supply side of the equation. So you're looking for established pockets that can't be built out. And then from the demand equation, how can you improve your situation and set yourself up in the right way to advance in your investing journey? The key questions for yourself might be, how can you boost your serviceability? So how can you gain access to leverage so you can actually go out there and buy more blue chip or properties that can perform for you in the short and long term? You also might want to look at your living expenses. So can you reduce your living expenses from $5,000 a month to $3,500 a month? That squeeze is going to help your serviceability, help you create more savings, which you can then invest that money for the future. Lastly, you again want to focus on the property specifics. So what suburbs have growth potential and why? And what house specifics are you looking for? Are you looking for at least 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, or are you preferring 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes because they might appeal to a wider audience in that area? When you're buying a property, you want to meet the market. And so assessing the property specifics, seeing what the market is demanding, and looking at the rental returns and forecasted yields and cash flow on your property is all an important part of the process. This really brings me back to the question for this video. What's the politics impact going to be on the property market? And really, I think the next 3 years, it's going to be very minimal. I think people will be more focused on the Reserve Bank of Australia and what's happening with interest rate increases and worried about their every day or every monthly repayments for their property, for their own home and their investment properties. But in terms of the government and their direct impact on the property market, it's unlikely to see any major swing across Australia. I don't have any strong feelings about whether Labor got in or Liberal got in, or whether the minor parties had success. For me, I'm more focused on those microeconomics. What can I control in my own situation, in my own journey and my own life to actually take the next step, whether that's saving some money, consolidating my portfolio, or looking to continue to grow and build out the portfolio. Whichever phase you're in, whether it's in growth or consolidation, it's about assessing your own situation and not worrying so much about the macroeconomics of who gets voted in and what policies they're bringing in, and assessing what's happening at a suburb and a house specific level for your next investment. investment. Really, at the end of the day, a journey of financial independence and financial freedom is up to you. Whichever party gets in and whatever government's in control, they're not going to hand you out and give you a financial independence handout. So it's up to you to create that passive income, to work hard, and to build your savings over time. I think we've had enough media and enough talk about politics the last 6 to 8 weeks. So I won't be making any future videos on politics and the property market. I just wanted to have a quick chat today with you guys. I just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys to not worry so much about the macroeconomics and focus on the microeconomics and what you can control in your own situation to really make a difference in your investing journey. If you're happy that the election's over, then drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel down below for more content on real estate renovating and financial freedom. Click this video over here and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. And click this video over here for all things me.